At 1822, good luck. Let's play our normal knight f3. We could go d4 and play a d4 game. So opponent, 15,000 games of rapid. That's a lot of rapid. But I think I'll play my normal reti. This is the reti opening when you see this structure. You can accept it and take or decline. He's declined it, so we'll play b4. And we're just trying to get our bishop up. We can maybe do this or this depending on what black does. Plays bishop down. Okay. I'm going to hit that bishop immediately and just see if he's going to trade it. He is. So we probably need to do this and just castle. We could still go here. Because of that move, I think d3 is probably more sensible. There is a pawn loose right now as well. So I'm going to play a3 to start with, but we don't want black blasting our position right down. Okay, so I'm going to have to go d3 now, and probably bishop this way, castle. I could still do g3 and put the bishop on the diagonal, but a little bit more risk, and it needs an extra move, doesn't it? So do I do that? But my bishop is stuck if I don't. I think I will. I'm going to still try and do this just to give the bishop scope later in the game, otherwise it's completely stuck. But this is a nice big target for black to aim for. So black's played the opening very well here. So can we create any chances? We do have rook across to try and target the pawn. The knight's a very natural defender. The bishop can defend. The rook can defend. So no easy targets. Knight up and in. Charge this knight could be useful. And that could be really, really useful. If I go here and takes, I can't take back. I lose my rook. So I can take or I can push on. My only real option, so I'm going to push the pawn on. He's playing this really well. Probably take back if he takes. I don't think I can really gambit a pawn there, can I? I could leave this here and develop and gambit a pawn, but that just seems like it's a free pawn for being a free pawn. But of course, if this pawn moves, we can try and push on and target this. Could be good, could be bad. Oh, he's locking it down. So can we go here immediately and challenge this pawn? If you push on, it could be a problem, couldn't it? Here, on, take, 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 and you're going to get the big weakness in our defense. But it's a one-time chance, isn't it? If I push on, if you push on here, maybe I just go pawn takes and claim that I've won a free pawn. That's my candidate move. If you push down take, rather than go with a bishop and try and push the pawn on. And if you take here, we could just simply take back. We don't have to go for this. So I've got doubled up pawns, so I'm going to push it forward. Very, very dangerous this. Here, I'm probably going to take, but you get a protected pass pawn. I'm going to have to then use a piece as a giant pawn to try and stop it. So this is very, very risky. He's played bishop up. So he's actually going really quite an aggressive setup here. I think I've probably got to take. Bishop takes. I can try and grab a pawn, but I'm walking into some sort of tactics. Queen up threatening to sack everything rather than even the rook and just blast through. But I think I have to take, don't I? If you take, I take. You take, I take. Everything's ripped open, so I've got to take here. Now I could develop the rook or the queen. Well, the queen you just walk into this spot. I can play rook across. I can try and grab a pawn. If you play rook up and I come back, it's a pawn. It's dangerous, so I'm going to do it. I need to try and get the bishop back. It's dangerous. He could be going for this, but he lets us back. So we've gained at least a temporary pawn for the time being. Now, can we do something about these powerful pieces aiming towards our king? These have got to find a home. If I go here and trade, that could be pretty good. Bishop up could be good. He might try and stop that. Yeah, he's gone for a direct all-out attack. Has he trapped his bishop actually there? Has he just trapped his bishop, allowing f4? Am I missing something? The bishop can't move anywhere, right? And if you take, I take with the bishop. So he's going to have to move, for instance, and let me take. But that's a piece as well as the pawn, isn't it? He's got no check, so I think he's blundered f4. But he shouldn't take there and allow me to develop and attack the queen. He should say develop something and allow me to take. Then he gets a knight active. And it might turn out not to be a blunder at all. But maybe I can then give up the rook for this knight, I'm not sure. I guess if you have knight here and you take back, then I've got bishop up and I can pin it and trade that knight as well. Yeah, that's exactly what he's done. Now at some point we do have a pawn we can start to run, but that's for later in the game. So I'm committed to taking here, aren't I? There's not much else I can do. I've played that in order to try and win the bishop, so I've got to take. I assume he'll take back. I'll develop here, makes sense to trade the bishop for the knight. And then it's a case of can I get my knight up and keep my pawns intact. Here I don't see a nice tactical knockout, so I'm going to develop my bishop with a natural move, pinning the knight. Rook across, probably the outer rook, because it's guarding a pawn, but you want to keep your king safe and get active, don't you? So he's probably going to play rook across. Well, he's played the knight back, so that makes sense. He can push the pawn. So I either take now, or he might get a pawn active. But I can develop my knight with tempo. He can't take the pawn because the queen hangs. So I've got a move when I can develop my knight and complete minor piece development with a view to going here. There you play pawn up, I could play knight f3. It does allow a check, but it's still a move. Or I can just take and then knight f3 actually might be better. I think I'm going to do that. Say he plays f6. I think I'm going to take, knight takes, and then knight across. That's exactly what he's done. So he wants the pawn across. So I could go here, allow knight takes, bishop takes. I could throw a check in first, but I'm going to complete my piece development. My bishop's guarded, the pawn's now guarded. He can take, and then shift his queen, but we've got a nice square for our bishop, or we can drop back. But he's going to try and bring his pawn across and march down the board. It could be very dangerous. Imagine both rooks get here on an open file. Oh, he's just resigned. He's had enough of the game. Didn't see how to continue. But I have a feeling that eval, it doesn't really matter what the engine eval is. It's not a formality to just convert this nice and easily. It's not a formality at all. Let's see what it is in engine speak. So we'll just pause so we don't accidentally start another game. So 20 moves is just really an opening. So they're the move times for both players. But it might be playable there for black. It might be. It's not easy to see a way to actually get to the king and checkmate. So still a slow grind, can still go wrong. What are we? Yeah, +6 in engine language. 97 against 81 on the accuracy. But obviously it's just really an opening that we've played with common sense moves there. We'll have a flick through. So c5 you can see is a blunder. Nothing's really been flagged. We've got h3 there. Yeah, it should have just played g3 and stuck to the principle instead of h3. I was just seeing what he was going to do with the bishop. Otherwise, just common sense development moves in this Reti opening. So this is all good for both of us. And then the blunder comes with c5 here, and it goes, it's still only 1.5. It's a bit harsh for it to be a blunder, that. Bishop up to d6. It's probably more a long-term concept why that's flagged as a blunder. It doesn't feel like a blunder to me, and that's the only blunder our opponent has. But it does allow pawn up here and unleashing the bishop. So now bishop to d6 is a mistake. Should have taken, and then bishop takes back. So takes and bishop takes back, not going here, was the correct move. And I think he's simply missed the fact that with this there's f4. So in engine language we now got +5, +6. So knight up was good, knight f3 is good. +6.1, it might not be the technically best move, but it's all good. But in engine language, it's like say +6 completely winning, but it's no easy knockout plan. If the pawn comes across and marches, could turn out to be a difficult game, but it is what it is. We got the win.